Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's Robert T. Green, the CEO of Pre-Post Game, also known as a player's rep, here to educate, empower, and protect the athletes and the family's best interests alone. I emphasize protect the athletes and the family's best interests alone. Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy travels back and from for the parents that are traveling to watch their young men play in college. Happy safe travels to the men playing today and going to be headed back after. When I call myself, a lot of times people talk about motivational speaking. I don't believe in motivational speaking, because when you motivate someone to do something without giving them the actual answers or the pathway to achieve that, it's like a dead end street. So what are you really doing? You're setting up, giving them false hope, setting them up for failure from day one. So I like to call myself a realization speaker. Realization speaker is basically going to break down the information you need to know, not what you want to hear, and give you the opportunity to make an educated decision for you and your best interest and yours alone. And so yesterday I posted something regarding about agendas, as I saw someone on my Facebook feed put out a post about what parents need to do and why coaches aren't recruiting their actual athlete. And I had to stop in my tracks and had to basically make my point on behalf of the athletes and the families that say, hey, coach, hey, institution, university. And you talk about parents having agendas, the ones that spend money, time and energy traveling these kids all across the country, paying some of these recruiting sites who can't do anything for them or their kids, some of these coaches who think they are God's gift to the sport, some of these people that literally have no idea what they're actually doing, and then the parents are out of thousands of dollars. Essentially, they go to your camps and you have to sign a permission slip saying that if your son or daughter was to get hurt, that parent's insurance company is responsible to take care of those damages. Mind you, without those actual parents and those kids playing, you wouldn't be compensating, like receiving a fee for that actual event that you're planning. And again, it goes back to all the way up to the NCAA currently when they're talking about a likeness and image bill that's being passed in the Senate in California to take place as of January 1, 2023. The fact of the matter is, it shouldn't even take that long. It need to take that long, and this is why. Simple facts. Without the actual parent and the athlete, none of these things exist. If the parent said tomorrow, or any university these kids said tomorrow, next week, or whatever, we're not playing this game, the NCAA, the universities, the coaches, the TV networks will lose billions of dollars. And I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about one team. Billions. You don't understand the business that you're in, you're doomed to actually be able to be successful in it. Because the fact of the matter is, without them, there is no you. And when I say you as an industry. When I talk about the terms such as sports trafficking, that means that every decision that's being presented to you, and 99.9% of the time is being directed to you for someone else's best interest. It may be in yours too, but in what order? Is it yours first or theirs first? I'm in the business of putting the athletes and the family's interests first, because again, without them, there is no pre-post game. Without them, there is no players rep. I respectfully understand that, and I acquiesce to their actual needs and wants. However, if they don't understand what their needs and wants are based off of what people put out there, then you're doomed to find out like, hey, I got a 4-year degree from a college that literally I'm sitting here as an unpaid GA grad assistant at the same university, coaching kids that going through the same path as me, but yet I'm not getting paid for it, just to get a t-shirt and a meal. Just the facts, not the process. The fact of the matter is, take the example of LeVar Ball and Lonzo Ball and now LaMelo Ball. And I'm not a big fan of LeVar Ball, but again, to each his own. What he did with his sons, and again, it proves a point like I've been saying from day one. Sports is not a game, sports is all business. For those of you who don't know, LaMelo was taken out of high school by his father. Now, many people had a lot of things to say about that, about how you robbing a kid of education, you're doing this, you're doing that. If the young man's goal and dream and his skill set says that he's going to be a professional athlete, that's what he's working to do. Understanding what it means to be a professional is not going to be done or taught or actually giving you any type of insight by going to your high school geometry class. Zero. So there's many reports out there that LaMelo Ball is going to be projected as high as the 3rd pick overall in next year's NBA draft. With that being said, LaMelo Ball has about, 2 to 3 million followers on his social media feeds. So once again, if you're trying to be a professional athlete, which LaMelo was wanting to do, he basically said, I'm going to be a professional athlete. I got the skill set to do it. I'm going to work on building my brand. I'm going to work on building my game. And now between 18 and 20 years old, I'm now going to be a multi-millionaire public figure for all things in that situation. Now, as much as people don't like LeVar Ball, I say this. Have you ever heard LaMelo getting in trouble? Have you heard of LaMelo doing anything you see on TV today with some of these athletes that continue to do things on social media, costing themselves guarantees, millions of dollars that they had and taking out because they don't understand what they're getting into? So with that being said, again, shout out to LaMelo Ball, but also the point proven that at the end of the day, there's not an NCAA coach. There wasn't a Duke University or Syracuse University or Kansas or anyone else that positioned this young man to basically be projected as a number 3 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft, except for LaMelo from his actions on and off the field / court, and LeVar and their parent and his mother. Trust the facts, not the process. Invest in yourself, not the industry. So for those people that keep screaming up and down about scholarships and free education, once again, you know not what you speak of. It's a thing called a subsidy. A scholarship is nothing more, nothing less than financial aid. The poorer you are, the more financial aid you receive. When your financial aid doesn't cover everything else, then the quote-unquote scholarship kicks in and takes care of the rest. But at the end of the day, you're not giving that to him. Those kids generated that revenue to provide that actual scholarship. Those boosters, those people out in Vegas that's gambling and betting on what these young men do, basically equating them nothing more than an injury on a numbers line, is all you're doing. So for those people out there that continue to say like, hey, you know, we need to get the free education, I'm giving you free education right now. This shoulder that I got right here with this torn AC joint, NCAA ain't looking to pay for it. Neither is the team that I play for as the pros. I understood what I was getting myself in when I became a pro. But the reality is 99% of the kids that's going into this point now do not. Because the people in this industry, in this business, are more concerned about what you can do for them instead of what they can do for you. I have a huge problem with that. I'm not going to apologize for it. And I wholeheartedly, when I consult and talk to parents and athletes, I have them apologize for it either. The facts of this, like I said, 700 schools in this country play football. 600 of those 50 schools, coaches are going and sitting in these kids' parents' living room, smiling in their face, telling them how they come to this school, they can help them become a pro athlete. Yet when they sign this national letter of intent, that's a one-sided document. Those same people on ESPN, those high school coaches, understand that's a one-sided document. You don't need that document to go to college and get a scholarship. But what that document does, it locks you in. So you cannot protect your likeness and image. You can no longer make sure that the coach that told you he's going to be there, when he knows as soon as you sign, he's taking the job at the end of January. When the NCAA tells those coaches in those schools not to tell you, the parent, the kid, that we lied to you and you're leaving. But then they'll tell you, well, you didn't commit to the coach, you committed to the school. Semantics. Look that up, people. Look up, if you learn anything today, look up semantics and look at subsidy. You will understand those are two of the biggest words. Oh, and perpetuity. If you're an athlete and you see somebody putting something out there for perpetuity, never sign it. You know why? Because nothing in your contract or what you do in life is ever going to give you a perpetuity right. And for those who don't know, perpetuity means that's forever. So, from this realization speaker, I'll say this to you. Shout out to LeVar Ball, not because of what he does on a day-to-day, but because of what he's allowed his kids to do, his family to benefit from. And regardless of how much or how little that people like it or feel like that literally he should do something different, you can. You haven't. You won't. The fact is, that man, his family, they're taken care of. And unfortunately, you see a lot of their stuff that comes out on the television, and arguments and things like that, but that's any other family type of scenario. But it's a family type scenario. And they invested in their family. And no one has a right to say that they shouldn't and couldn't. So, based off of how he raised his kids and how they have their athletic ability, they might have missed his situation, not according to him, but still, you know, they're in a great situation. And so, for those kids that are coming up today and, you know, have opportunities to position themselves on the field and off the field, pertaining to intellectual property, pertaining to branding, pertaining to your skill set, you need to do that because your window is ticking, your clock is ticking. And for those coaches, and again, anybody else that wants to tell another parent, again, that's raising their kids in the way they want to raise them in their life, and you want to put things out to deter their basically interest or their commitment or their actual input in their child's lives, you're going to be the one that's going to be identified in my actual, in our actual DNW, which stands for Did Not Work With list. Because if you're not interested in having a kid's parenting around, you want to basically feel like you want to have business discussions as a 35 to 40-year-old man with a 17 to 19 to 22-year-old kid who don't know anything. You telling on yourself. You don't got their best interest in mind over their parent. Now, their parents might not understand what's really going on, so they may become difficult in a lot of areas. But don't sit there and act like you give it more than their actual parents about those actual kids. You don't. None of you guys are out there in this industry, like I mentioned before, the 650 schools out of the 700 that's going to tell these kids that you're trying to use these kids and their skill set and their likeness, their image, to get another job, to leave them where they stand so they can go back and cry to their mommies and daddies. And you don't call even to say goodbye. So when you get canned and toasted and fired for what you cannot do based off the recruitment lies, we're not going to cry. We're not going to feel bad. We're not going to make decisions based on what you're telling us. We're going to make decisions based on what you're showing us. My name is Robert T. Green, players rep here to educate, empower, protect the athletes and the family's best interests alone. You guys be well, be blessed. Keep striving to be better. Keep learning. Sports is not a game. Sports is all business. Trust the facts, not the process. Check me out, the Players Rep 1 on Twitter, Players Rep 1 on Instagram. You guys be well.